Hey, what's up, my people? So good to see y'all on Instagram. Tamika is Graham. Good to see you. The authentic Gary Graham. What's up, brother? Tone.com 230. Good to see you. Raman Kondati. Good to see you. Justy Pictures. Good to see you. My goodness, we're getting ready to rock and roll on the Monday Mindset Movement here in just a few moments. Yeah, hang with us. This morning we're talking about choose your coffee. Yeah, so glad that y'all are here this morning. Come on, hang with us. At the very minimum, just vibe on this. Yeah, we are ready to rock and roll. I don't know about y'all. I'm ready to rock and roll. Yep, exactly. I see the hands, Justy. Let's go. Let's go. We got about 30 seconds, people. We're getting ready to rock and roll with the Monday Mindset Movement. Tell your people, invite your friends. Let's go. We're about to get started. Hey, y'all. It is the Monday Mindset Movement. Hey, we're getting ready to get started. As we've been doing this year, right at the beginning, I want you to jump in with me. And I want you to say this affirmation. Today is my best day. Today I will win. Today I fully embrace my God-given gifts and I courageously step on my fears. Today I operate without hesitation. Today I make impact. Today is my day. Let's go. Hey, y'all, what wakes you up in the middle of the night? What wakes you up on the right side of the bed? What energizes you and gets you in the right frame of mind to get moving, rocking and rolling? For many people, it's coffee or tea, right? But the real answer is something else. Let's talk about that today. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me, the Monday Mindset Movement. 15 to 30 minutes of motivation, elevation, and inspiration designed to get you rocking and rolling, thinking and blinking through your week. Thank y'all for showing up today on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and even Twitch this morning. So glad that y'all are here. Do me a favor, if you want to know when we're going live, text live, LIVE to 240-557-8679. Text live to 240-557-8679. Let's see who the people are in the place today. Like I said, Lacey 11, good to see you. Authentic Gary Graham, Tamika Graham, good morning, sir. Tone.com 230, glad you're here. Justy Pictures, Raman Kondati. If you're here and I haven't got you, do me a favor, give me a shout out in the comments so that I know that you're here this morning. Let's get ready. Let's rock and roll. Let's do this thing. We're getting ready to start. Y'all ready? Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's time to get motivated, elevated, and accelerated. It's your time to jump out of your comfort zone and reach higher. It's time to get up and go. Grab your cup of grit and your daily dose of resilience. It's time for the Monday Mindset Movement with your host, Robert Kennedy III, RK3. It's time.
Yep. Hey, Danny Lewis, good to see you on YouTube this morning, my friend. So glad that you're here. Dee Skittles, good to see you. Yeah, Tone.com and Gary Graham. Hey, brothers, good to see y'all this morning. Hey, y'all, listen, I am excited to be here for the Monday Mindset Movement. I don't know about you, but I woke up on the right side of the bed this morning. And we're going to talk about that. I'm so glad that y'all joined the movement today. If you haven't heard me say it before, the whole idea of this Monday Mindset Movement is growth. It's growth, right? We want to start you up and launch you into a headspace every day. We don't want to wind this down on Wednesday. Start out on Monday real good, and then Monday like, oh my gosh, it's hump day, middle of the week. I can't wait till Friday. We don't want that. We want you to bring that Monday mindset every single day. All right. If you are ready to bring that Monday mindset, type yes in the comments. Type yes in the comments. Let's tap into all of our God-given potential so that we can win. right? We want to win. We want to make sure that everybody in this space wins. So let's dive in this morning. Let's dive in this morning. Let's go. All right. Good to see you. So this weekend, I was away at a couples retreat, and a group of us started to talk about coffee. Yes, riveting conversation. We were talking about coffee. People were asking or talking about how they woke up in the morning and what kept them going throughout the day. And the answer for quite a few people was coffee. And they started to talk about the types of coffee that they drank or the types of tea that they drank and what the coffee did for them. And a lot of people were saying, yeah, the coffee, I just can't function without the coffee. I can't wake up without the coffee. I can't get moving during my day without the coffee. I just drink the coffee because that's what I'm used to. That's my routine. That's how I do it every single morning. And so I began to ask the question, why coffee? Why not something else? Why not apple juice? Or why coffee or tea in the morning? And yeah, the obvious answer for many people is, yep, the caffeine. And I started to ask the question, hey, when you drink the coffee, do you physically feel different? Is there something that happens where you're like, oh my gosh, I woke up, I just feel a sudden jolt or a certain charge of energy? Is there something that you feel? And I'm asking those questions honestly because I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm not a coffee drinker. And some people, especially when I'm doing workshops, trainings, or speaking, people are like, what? You don't drink coffee? I'm like, no. They said, so where do you get the energy from? We're going to talk about that in just a moment. So the question that I asked was, why coffee? And people kept saying they drink it because it wakes them up and helps them to get started with their day. Now, the question that people were asking me about myself, because I kept saying, no, I don't drink coffee. Well, how do you get moving, Robert? What is it that you do to get yourself motivated? What is it that you do to keep yourself moving in the right direction? What is it that you do to get yourself set for the day? How do you wake up on the right side of the bed? How do you show up in a certain way every single day? You must drink coffee. You need coffee in order to do that. Well, here's the deal. I don't drink coffee for several reasons, and I'm probably weird in this way. I don't really like the smell of it. Right. And I don't like the taste of it, but I will eat coffee candy. That's the weird part about this. Right? Here's the deal for me. I don't drink coffee because I don't need to. I don't need to. I wake up with a certain amount of energy. I wake up with a certain amount of focus. I wake up and I have a certain attitude or a certain mindset about my day. Why? Because I choose to. Because I choose to. But that's different, Robert. You need something to get your energy moving. You need something to kind of get you physically moving, to open up your eyes. Well, listen. That's my coffee. My coffee is choice. My coffee is me saying, okay, yep, I need to show up in this way. As I speak, as I train, as I do workshops, as I facilitate, as I MC, I've decided that I want to show up in a certain way that day. Yeah, there's some days where I may sit back or I may be reflective or I may be quiet. But when I show up, when I decide that I want to show up a certain way, then that's how I show up. This is why I don't believe when people say, oh, that's just how I am. No, that's how we've chosen to be. I keeps it real because that's how I am. That's how you've chosen to be. How do we choose to be? Question for you. Are you choosing to be, or are you letting someone else or something else choose for you? Are you choosing to be who you are? Are you choosing to show up how you show up? Or are you letting someone else or something else choose that for you? Challenge is a lot of us depend on something external for an internal change. A lot of times we are looking to someone else, something else, to change something inside of us so that we can show up a certain way, when the real change comes from internal. And here's what I've discovered. The more that we depend on something external for an internal change is the weaker that we become internally. The more we depend on something external for something internal is the weaker that we become mentally. And some of you don't like that I said that. Some of you may be mad at me. And you may be mad at me because you want the easy fix, right? You want to be able to say, Robert, I drank my coffee. Or Robert, I took this medicine. Robert, I took this pill. Robert, I drank this. I did this. And that helped me show up in this way on this day. Now, I won't say that you should never have coffee or you should never have apple juice. I drink coffee, like iced coffee sometimes, if I happen to be driving long distance and I'm driving overnight and I'm like, okay, cool. I need to stay awake a little bit more. Yeah, there are times where we do utilize external to help with our physical. But as far as my mindset, as far as how I show up, the energy that I bring, the smile that I bring, the way that I walk into a space, that's not dependent on something external. That's dependent on my internal. That's dependent on my choice that I've made. Right? There's some researchers from Stanford, Aaliyah Crum and Damon Phillips. They wrote an essay called Self-Fulfilling Prophecies, Placebo Effects, and the Social Psychological Creation of Reality. And in that, what they discovered was this, right? They deduced that people who believe stress has enhancing consequences tend to be happier, healthier, and perform better during stress than those who believe it has debilitating effects. Let me say that in a different way. Those who believe that good can come from stress tend to be happier and healthier and perform better during that stress than those who automatically move to a negative belief about that stress. Right? This really speaks to, and they're saying this right here, this speaks to people's mindset and how it dictates their perception and ultimately reflects in their emotions, behavior, and health. Your mindset determines how you see the world, how you show up in the world, how you behave, how you respond to the world. So my question is, what is your mindset? What mindset have you chosen? What mindset have you chosen? Do you just wake up in the morning and you just let the day consume you, or you let the day take you where it wants to? Or do you choose how you're going to show up in that day? Do you choose, I'm going to show up and be this way today? Do you choose this day is the way that my day is going to be? Is that something you've preset or written down or chosen beforehand. The more that we can do that, the more it affects our perceptions, the more it affects our emotions, the more it affects our mental toughness. One of the things I've discovered about myself is I have to show up a certain way when I exercise. Right? I have to show up in a way where I believe, yes, this is good. I'm killing this. I'm crushing this. Because otherwise, partway through the exercise, when it starts to get tough, when I start to breathe harder, when my muscles start to give out, I start to complain. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting my body through this? So before I get to that point, I've got to set my mind beforehand. I've got to be able to say, right? I've got to be able to say, okay, yep, this is what is going to be my mental state during and after my exercise. I like what Froze45 is saying on Instagram. I'm going to dictate the flow of my day. I love it. I love it. J. Anthony Graham, yes, awesome. So glad that you're here. D. Bowden, so glad that you're here. Good to see you. All right. Dr. Lorinda Jones, good to see you this morning. I like it. I love it. So, what is our mindset? What is the way that we operate during the day? How do we show up? What do we choose? Well, listen, as we do on most of the shows, I want to walk through three elements here. How do you choose your coffee? How do you choose your mindset each day? Well, number one, practice reframing. Practice reframing. What do we mean by reframing? Well, listen, the way that you respond, the immediate action or the immediate thought that comes to your mind is your standard perception, your standard frame. Can you reframe that? So, for example, if you happen to be stuck in traffic, when you get stuck in traffic, what is your first thought? What is your first response? What comes out of your mouth? Are you saying, oh my gosh, why are those people up there looking at what's happening on the other side of the highway? Oh my gosh, why is everybody slowing down? Oh my gosh, why don't these people merge properly? What is happening in your brain? Or are you just sitting and saying, well, there's traffic. Let me just enjoy the moment. What is your mindset? I want to encourage you to practice, number one, practice reframing. Think to yourself or figure out what is it that you normally get annoyed about. So instead of being bothered in a traffic jam, right? Instead of being bothered about the fact that there's no reason for the traffic except for people rubbernecking, instead say out loud, I'm grateful that I can afford a car and I get to spend a few extra minutes listening to music. That's a reframe. When something happens in your space that causes you to be annoyed, when something happens in your space that causes you to be annoyed, can you reframe that into something that you're grateful for and say that out loud? Okay, so that's number one. Number two, practice reframing. Number one. Number two, smile more intentionally. Smile more, comma, intentionally. Smile more. Just decide that you're going to smile. Just when you think about it, smile. There doesn't have to be anybody in the room. I'm not talking about smiling at people. I'm just talking about smiling. Smile more. You don't have to have a person in your space to smile. You don't have to smile at anybody. If you want to smile at somebody and you must smile at somebody, but there's nobody around, get a mirror. Or if you don't have a mirror, take your phone and turn on your camera app so that you can see yourself and smile at you. Smile more. Science has proven that our bodies respond chemically when we smile. There are hormones that are released, oxytocin. There are hormones, there are chemicals that are released in your body when you smile. Happy chemicals. right? So smile more intentionally. Decide if you want to get a number on it, decide that you're going to smile 50 times a day. Oh, I'm going to count my smiles today. Right? Smile more. That's number 2. Number 3, and this is a big one. This is a big one. Decide how you will show up and hold yourself accountable by writing it down. I'll say that once more. Decide how you're going to show up and then hold yourself accountable by writing it down. For example, I'm going to show up with abundant energy so that I can inspire others to be a better version of themselves today. That's what I'm going to do today. Right? Write that down. Write that down. I'm going to show up with abundant energy so that I can energize our team towards the finish line on this project. Write that down and then show up in that way today. I'm going to show up with abundant energy so that I can end this week with power. Write that down. Okay? That's your number 3. Decide how you're going to show up and then hold yourself accountable by writing it down. As a matter of fact, I give homework each week. I want you to write a show up statement. I want you to just today write your show up statement. Here it is. I'm going to show up with blank. How are you going to show up? So that blank, right? I'm going to show up in this way so that I can do this. Write your show up statement. That's your homework. That's your homework for this week. All right. Listen, y'all, that's all for this week. To know when we are live next, I want you to text live, LIVE, to 240-557-8679. Text live, LIVE, to 240-55-STORY. I'll send you the link where we are, when we're going live, and where we're going to be. But we're going to be here on Monday mornings, 8 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch. Yeah, I want to end today with this, a quote from Mark Twain, and it says, "Give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day in your life." Yeah, it's Monday, and we want to shift your mindset to a place of growth, but that doesn't just start and stop on Monday. I want to encourage you to take your mindset into tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Be curious, make a choice, move, start a movement, be a movement. Join me next week, Monday, on the Monday Mindset Movement, 8 a.m. right here. Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twizitch. Until then, be amazing, my friends. See you soon.